Mm. Alright. So, howdy strangers. My name is Jen, and thank you for the invitation to join the Stranger Cafe. I'm really excited about this. So hello to Becky Louise, and to Micah, and Helen, and Petey, and Nikki Jo, and Cherish. I guess I should probably introduce myself. I am a high school English teacher. I live just outside of Memphis, so that makes two of us Nikki Jo. When Cherish suggested that she wanted to get on board, I thought, wow, that sounds really cool. I'd like to do that too. So here I am, and I hope I can hold up my end of the bargain. Let's see. I wrote down a bunch of questions here, so I figured I would kind of get to those too. Becky Louise had asked in one of the earlier videos, I think, if you were one of those people who can't not do, which I think kind of gets to what I just said about you know, why I wanted to get involved in this. And I don't think, well, I think I kind of am in some ways one of those people who can't not do. I'm always busy doing something, whether it's running or reading or something to that effect. I do like to, I like to be active in doing things. I think it's kind of a waste of my time on this earth not to do things. But I don't feel compelled to do things, I think, just for the sake of doing them, so much as I do things because I feel like, you know, I really do have a limited amount of time on this earth, and there's a lot of stuff I want to do. So, so yeah, I mean, I keep really busy, but it's fun, and yeah, I'm exhausted most of the time. And I forget to, you know, do things like water my plants, and then my orchids die and all that. But, you know, I still feel pretty happy and content with where I am in all these state of things. So, let's see, Becky Louise, in your last video, you had asked if we were reading a particular book. And I am off and on right now reading this book here, Let the Great World Spin by Colin McCann. I am 86 pages into it right now, and it's slow going because I'm a slow reader and I put things down and pick them back up again when I have time. But it is fantastic, so if you haven't read it yet, I highly, highly recommend it. There's a narrative that kind of threads through this about the high wire walker Philippe Petit and his 1974 walk between the Twin Towers in New York City. And a friend of mine, when I had started reading this book, suggested that I view the documentary called Man on Wire, which I've since seen 3 times, and it is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is so magical. So if you haven't seen that and you don't have time to read this book, or Petit's autobiography about that experience, I highly, highly, highly recommend documentary Man on Wire. It's on Netflix, so you can totally see it that way. I guess I will pass on a question to you, strangers, as well. And that is, I want to ask you guys something about writing, because I think vlogging is a lot like writing in certain ways, and I've been working with students recently on creating papers for their reading of Huckleberry Finn. And so I thought I would ask you guys about writing, and do you do writing for pleasure of your own, whether it's letters or diaries or poetry or songwriting, and what is it about that brings you pleasure if you do it? So, see you next Saturday. Have a happy weekend.